A sheriff's deputy is behind bars accused of making bogus drug arrests. Former Martin County Deputy Stephen O'Leary was charged with 52 counts. Prosecutors say he planted drugs or fake drugs on unsuspecting motorists.
The big story at 5, a Kenosha police officer planted evidence in a drug case.
Shows officers placing drugs in a car.
Shows officers planting drugs.
Officers accused of planting drugs.
There have been 2 new videos that have come out in the past week showing law enforcement officers planting drugs on innocent people.
I'm recording.
Here are 5 times cops have been caught on camera planting drugs. "52-year-old Ronald Shields had his charges dropped after LAPD officer Andrew Gaxiola was caught planting a small bag of drugs in Shields' wallet. Gaxiola didn't realize the body camera he was wearing recorded 30 seconds prior to being turned on. Shields' defense attorney explains and shows the footage that was recovered before the body camera was turned on.
It seems improbable that someone would tape themselves planting drugs.
Exactly.
So it seems more reasonable that when he turned on his cam, he felt he was recording at that point.
And didn't know it was going back 30 seconds.
Correct.
He believes and showed this video in court, claiming it shows Officer Gaxiola planted the drugs.
It's right there. There's that little white square. The drugs were originally in his right hand, and he transfers them to his left hand. Now, if you watch, he looks down to make sure they're there, and that's when the drugs were planted.
When LAPD officers had conflicting testimony in court and on their police reports, Judge Michael Kellogg decided to drop the charges. But don't worry, LAPD claimed they would be opening an internal investigation on Officer Gaxiola.
Wait, you hired someone to investigate yourself?
While arresting a suspect, an officer in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, appears to drop a small baggie. Shortly after, he realizes he's being recorded and chases after the woman recording him. This video has nearly 6 million views on Twitter in less than a week. But it's so new, there isn't a lot of information about it. We reached out to the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office in regard to this incident. However, we have yet to receive a response. It's important to note that the handcuffed man could have dropped the drugs, and the cop could have just been picking them up. But his actions of holding the drugs discreetly in his hand before putting them down on the ground is certainly suspect.
Hey man, you planted that!
Two NYPD officers pulled over a vehicle for a broken taillight, which turns out wasn't broken at all, and instantly claimed they smelled marijuana.
The car smells like marijuana, so we're going to check it, alright?
They then used that as an excuse to search the car.
Searching the rest of the car?
Yeah, we gotta find something.
That's when Officer Erickson decides to take matters into his own hands.
It's a little bit of weed. It's a little bit of weed.
Unfortunately, this footage surfaced 2 years after the incident, and the passenger in the car had already pleaded guilty. This is actually the second time this same officer has been accused of planting drugs. This video came out last month involving the same dirty cop.
Alright, this was in the back seat on the floor. Said marijuana cigarette, it's lit. You good? We're good?
Baltimore officer Richard Pinheiro doesn't realize he's accidentally recording himself planting drugs. He didn't know his body camera started 30 seconds before he activated it. Officer Pinheiro was trying to frame an innocent man. His fellow cops watched and didn't say a word.
The suspect in that case was locked up for 7 months before he was cleared.
Sadly, Pinheiro was never fired and is still on duty collecting a paycheck.
You.
Senior staff attorney with the ACLU, David Roca, says, "It perfectly encapsulates everything that's wrong with BPD, everything that is wrong with policing in Maryland, and everything that is wrong with policing in the United States."
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Dozens of innocent people were exonerated and had their charges erased when Jackson County Sheriff's Deputy Zachary Wester was caught on his own body camera planting meth on an innocent grandmother. Teresa Odom was pulled over for her brake lights not working, even though they were. The footage shows the deputy planting the substance and then pretends to find it moments later.
That is not mine. No, sir.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you any
No, sir.
Odom would then be arrested and thrown in a cage so this officer could make himself look like a hero. Sheriff's Deputy Zachary Wester has since been fired and arrested on 52 counts of planting meth and other drugs on innocent drivers who would randomly pull over. Unfortunately, police officers planting evidence is not uncommon. There are dozens of documented cases in the books. These are just a handful of cases that we know of. Imagine how often it happens and the public doesn't find out. The next time someone tries to tell you that just obeying the law will keep you out of trouble with police, show them this video.